Hello. I'm trying to get my camera angle. Anyway, today is Wednesday, October 8th, and it's morning time, and I'm just getting ready to get started with some stuff I need to get done today. And had my journaling this morning and my meditation. Didn't go for my walk, but yeah, I'm feeling good this morning. My spirit is telling me to say that I don't necessarily have problems with doing things spontaneously. What I do want to say though is that I used to be a huge procrastinator and a huge last minute type of person. Like, I used to drive my ex-husband crazy because I would get to the airport at the last minute. My life was just really, really chaotic, and I would do things at the last minute. But then when I started working events, it was one of those things where it's like you have to be on time, if not early, and most of the time early. Even if your start time was like 6 a.m., you would have to get there in time to park somewhere, get there in time to walk to your station or wherever you were going to be posted. And so over that time period, I learned to be more timely, like to be early is to be on time, those kinds of things. And also to learned to plan things out better and not do things at the last minute. And so, whereas my ex-husband would probably say, or his thing was always like, get to the airport 2 hours early, I would be like, man, are you crazy? Like, why would I do that? But now that I have changed and I have learned to allow much more space in between things and to get to places early and just sit in the car and relax, or to plan things out so that life is not so chaotic, I learned that I was addicted to the adrenaline and whatever other hormones, the cortisol and whatever other hormones were running around in me when I was doing everything in a chaotic and last minute kind of way. So I'm not saying that I cannot be spontaneous, but what I am saying is that my body has changed and my nervous system has changed, and I don't like doing things at the last minute. I don't like barreling down the street in the freeway, although I have done it, trying to get to somewhere because I'm running late and those kinds of things. So I just allow a lot more space in my life, and I use my calendar. I schedule things in advance. And so what I want to say about what I was saying this over the past couple of days about the last minute thing is that I feel like what I was also doing is, at first, because I didn't have a job, I didn't have businesses, I didn't have all these things. So at first I had a whole bunch of just free time. I was just going to the gym and going to yoga and chilling. So I had all this free time. So when this person was saying, hey, do you want to do this or that or whatever, and it was at the last minute, I was like, yeah. And it was fun. And I was having fun with them and, enjoyed their company and all the things. And so I set a precedent, I guess, or we had set a precedent that the whole last minute thing was okay. But then it started to get to a point of like, wait a minute, I got a lot going on now and I need to plan things out better. And I feel like as I was trying to set those boundaries of like, for example, to be specific, I would wake up in the morning and have a message saying, hey, do you feel like blah, blah, blah today? And it would be like in an hour, and it would be like, oh shit, I enjoy your company, but I'm not sure that I'm ready for that. But then I would say yes, because I like this person, and yes, I want to spend time with them. And so I would say yes, but then I realized that was like chaotic for me. So I set a boundary and was like, hey, how about we do this? You let me know 24 to 48 hours in advance so that then I can plan better. First of all, the person, I feel like they ghosted that request, that boundary that I tried to set. And then at the same time, around the same time is when that thing happened where they ghosted me on something that could have had some serious financial implications. So I feel like when I wasn't kind of following along with their way of doing things and their agenda, the more I tried to establish boundaries and set things up instead of trying to project manage them and manage around their way of doing things. When I started trying to assert myself, I feel like that's when they started acting funny and started changing, and where it was like, oh, okay, so unless I do things your way, then we can't be cool. So that's when I started being like, oh, I see. Okay, that's when you're going to be ghosting me and doing all the things when I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got to make some changes, and I'm not doing it your way. And so it's kind of like, and this person at one point in time had called me spoiled, and it felt a little bit like, well, maybe are you also spoiled? Because yes, I understand that I am an only child, and in a way an only child, and that there's certain things that I want to do, but I feel like I've done enough and given enough to prove that I am not only out for self. And so anyway, the other thing is, as I try to, I feel like, manage the schedule a little better and manage things a little better and make my life more manageable, I would, try to plan things in advance and things like that. And every time, or not every time, but many times when I would ask for the agenda or the plan or the this or the that, because I'm trying to be in your life, I'm trying to do things together and all the things, I would get the I'll let you know. And then the I'll let you know would be at the last minute. And it would be like, okay, I guess we're just not compatible because this is not working for me. And when I try to establish something that does work for me, you completely ghost me and treat me like shit. And so anyway, I just am saying all that to say that I can be spontaneous and I can do things at the last minute. And I don't necessarily mind it, but I also love using a calendar. I love making plans. I love, and things can change at the last minute, and I understand that. But I also have needs, and you kind of have to know yourself. And I know that I am no longer addicted to the adrenaline rush of running around and doing things in a chaotic way. So, anyways, I do need to get on with my day. So, and another perfect example is receiving a message at 7 in the morning, getting cornered for that verbal conversation of like, I'm going to set up a meeting with you, and then setting it up at 9 o'clock is like, what the fuck? Like, planning in advance. I don't know. I just feel like you don't ambush people at 7 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, can you do something in an hour or 2 hours? But anyway, that's just me. I'll give one more example of a situation where I'm working with somebody else on something, and we've been texting back and forth and things have been going okay, but there's other things that need to be sorted out. Again, this is a professional situation. And so I sent them a text message asking them some questions about, hey, can I get some clarification and confirmation on these things? And so what they said is they replied back and said it would be better to go over this via phone call. And I'm like, no problem, because I want to be clear that I don't have a problem handling things in different styles as needed. So this person needs a phone call, and that's fine. So the person says, okay, what does your days in the next 2 days look like? And at the time I said, oh, my days I'm available. I can do a quick phone call. So then I get to the end of the day, don't hear anything back from them. And at the time I said, okay, tomorrow and Thursday I'm available. But then I don't hear back from them. So at the end of the day, my next message was, okay, now I'm not available tomorrow morning. I'm available from 12 o'clock forward and then on Thursday. And so because they didn't respond setting up the meeting. And so it was like, you're not going to send me a meeting invitation on Wednesday morning for Wednesday morning. Like, no. And so anyway, we sorted it out. The person sent me a meeting invitation for Thursday morning, which is fine. And then my next follow-up is, okay, and here's an email to your invitation of all the things that I want to make sure we talk about. I don't want to be in a meeting wasting time talking about a whole bunch of stuff I'm a high D person. And so I want to make sure that we have an agenda. We know what we're talking about in the meeting and what's going to be covered. And so that's how we handle it. And so I sent them an email last night saying, these are the things I want to make sure we cover to get my questions answered. Sent them a follow-up text saying, and here's a screenshot of the email, just making sure that I did accept your email invitation and I look forward to talking to you on Thursday morning so that they could be prepared for the meeting. So anyway, I say all that to say that I am not an unreasonable person. I can do things at the last minute, but if you want me to be in your life and you want to work with me, I'm just stating a preference that I prefer to be prepared and I prefer to not do things at the last minute. Anyway, make it a great day. I can do things at the last minute. I just prefer not to. Okay, make it a great day. And that "I'll let you know" response was just like, ooh, this just absolutely does not work for me. I'll let you know. It's like, well, I will let you know that I'm out.